Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Friday, payday, October 21st slate of NBA action. I'm super excited to dive into it. We have a huge slate today. I have 5 official plays, I believe. I'll have to double check on that. I know it's at least 4. And then we do have a new segment that is going to be coming to you guys as well. And I'm super excited to dive into that. But before we did, I did just want to go ahead and say that we are still currently on the road to now 8,000 subscribers. We'll be doing the 7,000 giveaway as of next Tuesday. So make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post, and so you guys do have a chance to win that giveaway. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So much more than you guys will ever know. So without any further ado, I don't want to waste any more time because we have a lot of plays today. We have a new series I need to introduce, the whole 9 yards. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and do a quick recap as of yesterday. I made some tough reads. We ended up going 1 and 2 on the day. We ended up losing one literally right on the hook. One we ended up winning super easily, and then one we didn't even come close. So let's go ahead and talk about it. First things first, we did have Drew Holiday over 19.5 points here versus the Bucks at minus 105 odds. Drew Holiday had one of the worst shooting nights of his career. He literally shot like 2 for 15, I think, or it was something crazy. I know at one point in time he was shooting 1 for 9. One point in time he was shooting like 1 for 7. He made the first shot of the game, and then after that he really slowed down. So he played absolutely atrocious. He didn't come close to this 20 points mark. Then we did have PJ Tucker under 4.5 rebounds. He ends right at 5. It was very frustrating just because I remember watching, I think it was in the middle of the second quarter or maybe closer to the end of the second quarter. Giannis literally gave him a free rebound. Giannis literally was standing right next to PJ Tucker. And in the meantime, while he was standing next to him, he just watched the ball. He just watched the ball fall right into his hands. Giannis didn't reach for it. Giannis didn't jump for it. He literally watched it fall into PJ Tucker's hands. PJ Tucker dribbled it out, kicked it out to the top, and then went and sat in the corner. So it was very unfortunate. Ended up right at 5 rebounds, though. Then we had Zubac over 8.5 rebounds. Currently, in that game, there's still 10 minutes left in the game. Dude's got like 14 and 13. He's going absolutely ballistic. I don't think he's missed a shot yet either. So Zubac's having a great game. So that one ended up working out for us. Ended up going 1 and 2 on the day. Had to get back just a little bit, but I think we're going to be bouncing back here today. I found a lot of plays that I like. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. For our first play of the day, we are going to be taking Devin Vassell of the San Antonio Spurs over 15.5 points here versus the Pacers at minus 115 odds. Now, if you take a look at it, in his last 9 regular season games, he has covered this line in 5 of them. So he does have a pretty good track record to this line. Now, unfortunately, last game in the season opener, he did only have 11 points. So, he wasn't able to hit this mark. But the thing that I really like about it was we saw a lot of volume from Devin Vassell. He had 15 shot attempts. And if you're going to tell me that he's going to get 15 shot attempts to be able to score 16 points, I definitely think that he can do that. He had a very rough shooting night. I think he was 3 for 15 from the field. He was 0 for 8 from 3 and 8 free throw attempts on the night. So with all that being said, I don't think there's any way Devin Vassell shoots that bad. And if he's going to get anywhere near this 15 shot attempts, again, I think that he crushes this line. Also, it's a pretty average over-under, 231 currently. In Indiana, as of last game, they ended up giving up 114 points to Washington. So I definitely think a young team like the Spurs, I think that they can get Devin Vassell enough shots to be able to get him to that 16th points. And Indiana currently is listed at 7th in pace, so we don't have a huge sample size, obviously just one game, but they are 7th in pace currently. Top 10 in pace, definitely going to be a faster paced game. I think Devin Vassell gets a lot of shots here, so that is going to be our first play of the day. I really like this one. Devin Vassell over 15.5 points here versus Indiana at minus 115 odds. Now for our second play of the day, we're taking another points prop. We're going with Gordon Hayward over 16.5 points here versus the Pelicans at minus 115 odds. Now, I know that the Pelicans are a very solid defensive team, but if you take a look at it, somebody's got to be scoring these points, and I think that it has to be Gordon Hayward. There is going to be no LaMelo once again. There's obviously no Bridges in the game. Somebody has to. And last game, Gordon Hayward did have 20 points on just 11 shot attempts. And I think he does see a couple more shot attempts here as well. I think that somebody else has to be getting these extra shot attempts. He only saw 29 minutes because the game was just, it was kind of ugly. So he only saw 29 minutes. I do think he sees mid 30s when it comes to this next game. Also, it is 230.5 for the over-under. Once again, very average. Nothing you can really do about that. Definitely, like average. But I think that it is going to be more towards the side of the over. I think that I like the over quite a bit more. And New Orleans is tied for 13th in pace currently. Charlotte is listed as 10th. Both these teams are in the top half when it comes to pace. I think that it's a really good spot here for Gordon Hayward. But here's what I love. Gordon Hayward, in his last 18 games versus the Pelicans, he's covered in 16. Dude has went absolutely ballistic versus the Pelicans. He has the history. He has it all. So I love this play. Hopefully it ends up working out for us. That is going to be our second play of the day. Gordon Hayward over 16.5 points here versus the Pelicans at minus 115 odds. Now for our third play of the day, this one's going to be controversial. I know I'm going to get a lot of people down in the comment section. But we're going with DeJounte Murray under 35.5 PRAs here versus Orlando at minus 115 odds. Now I get it. DeJounte Murray is obviously a great player. I'm not discounting that whatsoever. But I think that there are a lot more ways that he can go under in this game than he can go over. Let me explain. Orlando is 20th when it comes to pace. Once again, not a huge sample size, but they are listed at 20th in pace. They're towards the lower echelon when it comes to pace just in general. Also, the spread right now is 8.5 points. And I think that Atlanta absolutely sweeps them. I think that they absolutely rout this Magic team. So, with that being said, if there is a blowout, I don't think DeJounte Murray is going to be in the game for super long time. Also, it's a pretty low over-under set to 221, so it's pretty low considering all the other games that are currently on the slate. So, if that's the case, I don't think that DeJounte Murray is going to be getting like a ton of those. Also, DeJounte Murray, in his career versus Orlando, he has only covered in one game versus Orlando. So he has really struggled versus Orlando over the course of his entire career. And in that game that he did cover, he had 20 points, only 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists. So with all that being said, that is a lot of rebounds that helped him hit this over. I don't think he's getting nearly as many with a team like Atlanta, that can rebound the ball extremely well. And also, Trae Young has a history against the Magic. Trae Young is averaging 28 points per game over his last 9 games versus Orlando. He's been very solid here versus Orlando. And so if he does play anything like he has in the past recently, I think that it's going to be I think Trae Young's going to be taking the show as opposed to DeJounte Murray. So I do like this play. Like I said, it's definitely going to be the most controversial. If I were to fade one play, definitely fade this one. But that is going to be our third play of the day. DeJounte Murray under 35.5 PRAs versus Orlando at minus 115 odds. Now, our fourth play of the day, we're going to be taking Vucevic, my boy, Vooch, over 10.5 rebounds here versus the Wizards at plus 102 odds. Now, he ended up with 17 rebounds last game versus Miami. He had a great game versus Miami, and I don't expect him to get 17 again, but I do expect him to at least get 11. Jalen Smith last game versus the Wizards as on the Indiana Pacers, he had 8 boards and he only played in 22 minutes. Now I expect Vucevic to get at least 30 minutes, so I do think that his production can be up just a little bit more. Vucevic has also covered in 8 of his last 12 games here versus the Wizards, so he has a good track record versus them. And both these teams are very fast in pace. Washington is 8th when it comes to pace as of the first game at least. In Chicago, they're set to 11th. So both of these things have shown that both these teams have been playing at a pretty decently fast pace. And with that being said, I just think that Vucevic is going to be getting a lot of those rebounds. I don't think any of the Bulls players are going to really be taking those away from him. I love Patrick Williams, but he's not really too much of a rebounder. Same with DeMar DeRozan. So I think that Vucevic does get 11 for us, and he looked very, very solid in the season opener. So that is going to be our fourth play of the day. Vucevic over 10.5 rebounds here versus the Wizards at plus 102 odds. Now for our fifth and final official play of the day, we're taking the Raptors plus 2.5 here versus Brooklyn at minus 107 odds. Now the Raptors, they are 1-0 against the spread. They did have the season opener versus Cleveland. They looked really solid. I know that Darius Garland did end up getting injured, but overall, I still think that the Raptors are a really good team. Also, Brooklyn really doesn't have too much of a tougher matchup for a while other than this. I think this is going to be a very true test here to Brooklyn, and I still think that with the addition of Simmons, I think that they are still trying to gel here. Also, the Raptors, they have covered in their last three matchups here versus the Nets, but they have a crazy history versus the Nets. Of the last 27 matchups between these two teams, the Raptors have actually covered in 24 of them. They have a great track record here, and Brooklyn did start off the year pretty rough. They ended up getting absolutely blown out by the Pelicans. Now, I don't think it's going to be a blowout in this game. I don't think that I don't even know if the Raptors went outright, but I do like for them to cover the spread. So that is going to be our fifth and final play of the day. I just think that it's going to take a little bit more time for the Brooklyn Nets to be able to gel together, and I think that the Raptors do keep this one close or even win this one outright. So that is going to be our fifth and final play of the day. Raptors plus 2.5 here versus Brooklyn at minus 107 odds. Now, for the new segment that we are going to be doing, we are going to be doing a Survivor Series. Basically, what this is going to mean is I am going to pick one NBA team straight up money line. I'm going to be betting it on a new sports book that I don't really use a whole lot. I'm going to be betting just their straight money line. What I have to do is every single day I have to pick the money line, and I can't reuse that old team. So let's say, for example, I were to pick my Chicago Bulls tomorrow, or as of today, excuse me. I'm recording this the night before. But if I were to pick the Bulls, then I wouldn't be able to use the Bulls again. I would have to use a different team for the next day, despite no matter what the matchup is, no matter what. And if I can get through all 30 NBA teams, I'm going to be doing a massive, massive giveaway. However, I'm going to be doing a giveaway every 10 wins, just in case if I don't end up getting to that full 30. So if I end up getting to 10 wins, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. If I end up getting up to 20 wins, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. And if I end up getting to all the way to 30 wins without losing, I am going to be doing a monstrous giveaway. So make sure that you guys are subbed. But for the Survivor Series, our pick is going to be the Timberwolves money line here versus the Jazz at minus 355 odds. Obviously, this is no official play whatsoever, but this is just for the Survivor Series. I think that the Timberwolves, they are a very solid team overall, and I know that the Jazz looked really, really good last game. But let's be honest here. I just don't think that they're going to be able to beat the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are a very full team, and I think that the Jazz, despite them having a very good game, I just don't foresee them having two great games right in a row. I just don't believe it. And if they do, heck, we'll go ahead and restart this for tomorrow. But as of right now, I just don't believe it. So that is going to be our Survivor Series pick of the day. We are going to be taking the Timberwolves minus 355 versus the Jazz. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that is going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Peace.